I want to talk about unlocking creativity. So the first thing I want you to think about, just pause for a second before you scroll past me in your feed. Thanks for the pause. I want you to ask yourself the question, do you think you're creative? Like if I asked you right now, do you think you're creative? What would you say? Probably shaking your head no, right? Hopefully you're not being awkward like on a train or something, and you better not be driving when you're watching this. So no, you don't think you're creative. Well, I think we're all creative. I actually think that creativity is beaten out of us because of social conditioning. It's beaten out of us because of the education societies. It's beaten out of us because of people telling us that we're not good enough, or us telling ourselves that we're not good enough. I recently had an experience I want to share with you guys, and I think it's a really powerful experience in that I watched someone unlock creativity. So someone I was talking to recently told me that they don't imagine themselves particularly as being creative. They said to me was that they think that they have a pretty narrow mindset and that they're pretty strategic in how they think, but they don't imagine themselves as being creative. And I sort of called bullshit on that. I was like, I actually think that you're pretty creative. And because we're all creative, we just forget how to be creative. So I think if we understand what are the reasons that we don't think we're creative, and that really alludes to, I think, the answer to this entire question. The reason you're watching this is just how do I unlock creativity and how do I be more creative? It starts by asking the question. We're so conditioned to understand, to have the answer to the test, to have the answer be a finite thing, that we actually stop asking questions. As we grow up past the age of 3, 4, 5, the amount of questions we're asking on a daily basis, the amount of curiosity that we have continues to steadily decline. And by the time we're adults, like many of you that are watching this video, which I know from the stats, right? By the time you're an adult, we stop asking questions. We start accepting the labels that our job title has given us. We start accepting the fact that other people have told us that we're not good enough or we don't deserve enough. But really what I found when I was talking to this person about how they could unlock creativity is really all it came down to is me asking the right question, which then changed their relationship with the answer. We took the pressure out of the situation. We took the pressure out of the stage performance that we all think we have to perform on. And ultimately, the questions started revealing new answers, right? Two of the most powerful questions I think we can ask to anything. The first question is why? The second question is what if? So as a perfect example, maybe it's something as simple as your boss is shutting you down from an idea that you wanted to pitch them for something you wanted to do at work, right? Asking them why they believe that that idea is not a good idea. Oh, well, I just don't think it's right for this campaign. That's really good feedback, boss. Why do you think it's good for this campaign or for our business? And then they answer it, really just continuing to dig deeper and ask that why question. And then based on what they say, so I don't think it's really good for us because that idea doesn't give us enough data. Okay, well, what kind of data would be helpful for us to have? Will be really helpful for us to understand what people were responding when we put something out there. Okay, awesome. So then from there, being able to say, well, what if we could ask people what they wanted to respond with instead of us asking? So being able to use why and use what if in language can allow us to give ourselves a second guess and a second step at what that might look like. There are so many different games that we can tune into. I want to point your eyes to a new site that we recently launched to help people with this, which is thinkforward.co. It's thinkfwd.co. So I'll put the link in the comments, but I want you guys to jump on there because there's so many free things you can download to change your relationship with unlocking creativity. But I want to leave you with one last thing, and thanks so much for tuning in. You are creative, I'm creative, we're all creative, but we have to create the space for creativity. And space doesn't always require lots of time. I've done 30-second to 3-minute creative brainstorms that have given more results and more ideas that were on path and on target for our clients than they have been able to do in months. And the reason why is you have to create the space and the mindset for creativity. And that starts with giving yourself permission and giving your teams permission to just think a little bit differently about something and making people feel safe asking questions. So if there's one thing you do differently, besides like and comment on this post at the end of it, the one thing I want you to do differently is I want you to ask why the next time someone shuts you down. I want you to ask what if and propose something the next time you feel like you're not getting the answer that you're hoping for. The question is the answer.